Hello, this is Mrs. Mills, your instructor for English 111, and I wanted to take some time to talk about the grammar quiz in this module. And the grammar quiz focuses on subject-verb agreement and pronoun antecedent agreement. So I'm going to talk about this for a minute. Make sure that you have your book, The Everyday Writer. Okay? And as Moodle says, I printed out my little Moodle sheet so we can double check everything. So if you need to go back and print that out, you can do that as well. We're going to start on page 323, and this begins subject-verb agreement. So make sure that you read all this information, and there is other grammar materials within the module that you can refer to. All right, so now the quiz says go to page 325 in the text, and we're going to do numbers 6 through 10 of exercise 32.1, okay? And as you can see by this exercise, it looks pretty simple, and one piece of advice that I would give you is to orally talk this exercise out. So, for example, look at number 1. Okay? Soldiers who are injured while fighting for their country deserve complete medical coverage. So if you orally speak it out to yourself and vocalize it, the answers might come a little easier to you. Okay? So for example, let's go back to that one. So soldiers who are injured while fighting for their country deserves complete medical coverage. Soldiers who are injured while fighting for their country deserve complete medical coverage. And obviously it's soldiers deserve, okay? So again, talking that out might help you with this exercise. Let's look at number 2, because, let me scoot over here. Sometimes you're going to have an appositive in your sentence. Again, an appositive, which is an interrupter. It kind of interrupts the flow of the sentence. So let's look at number 2, and that's up here with the dog, okay? In your book, the dog, followed by its owner, races wildly down the street every afternoon, okay? So obviously the dog races. But if you have an appositive is set off by commas, all right? So the dog, comma, followed by its owner, comma, races wildly down the street. Now, here's a trick to make the sentence a little bit easier. If you take out the appositive and the sentence makes sense, well, number one, the commas are in the right spot, but also if you take the appositive out, you can read the sentence a little bit easier. So let's just lightly mark through this. Followed by his owner, races. Okay? So, taking out the appositive, the dog races wildly down the street every afternoon. All right? So, again, if you see an appositive, extra information about the subject set off by commas, also called an interrupter, take that out and then vocalize the sentence, and it might make better sense to you. Okay? So, as you do that exercise, it's very important to, again, speak it out. So, number 3, just when I think I can go home, another pile of invoices appears on my desk. Just when I think I can go home, another pile of invoices appear on my desk. So you're going to talk that out and determine the correct answer. Another thing with this entire grammar quiz, make sure that you're writing out or typing out each sentence completely. So don't just write the correct word that needs to be chosen. Please make sure you write out the entire sentence completely, because that's what we're practicing here. We're practicing writing really great effective sentences. Okay? So again, subject-verb agreement, and read the information before that activity. Okay? Now let's go to the second one. We're going to go to page 341. That's for the quiz, and you're going to do numbers 1 through 5. But before that, pronoun antecedent agreement starts on page 337. Oop, there we go. So make sure that you read this because pronoun antecedent agreement is very, very important. It's so important to identify your pronouns immediately or the sentence can get really confusing. So here's an example. She wanted him to get it. She wanted him to get it. There's lots of pronouns in there, and we don't know what exactly is going on. It could be different meanings to different people. Okay, so she told her that he wanted to get it. Oh, I think I added an extra pronoun, because I was confused because there was way too many pronouns in there. So identifying pronouns is very, very important. So on page 337, there's two really great examples up front. Under 33F, they're in the blue with the arrows. The choir master raised his baton. Okay, his is the pronoun, and choir master is the antecedent. The antecedent is the identifier. Who is his? The choir master is his. I know that sounds kind of awkward, but in explaining a pronoun antecedent agreement, it makes sense. The choir master raised his baton. His refers back to choir master. The second one, the boys picked up their music. Okay, that's the plural form. There is the pronoun. What's the antecedent? Who is there? Boys, okay? The boys picked up their music. Their refers back to boys. There is the pronoun. Boys is the antecedent. And again, there's some more examples. My parents and I tried to resolve our disagreement. Our is your pronoun. Parents and I, antecedent. Because the O-U-R is plural, and you have parents and I. Okay? Every plant and animal has its own ecological niche. It's pronoun, plant, animal, antecedent. Okay, so you are going to read through those, and the exercises start on page, again, 341, and you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the sentence starts, all scholarship applicants. That's number 1. Now let's look at number 3, okay? So what you're doing here is you're making sure the pronouns are clearly identified. You don't want any confusion. So let's look at number 3, okay? Sasha hurried to call her sister before she flew to Brazil, okay? Sasha hurried to call her sister before she flew to Brazil. Okay, we have some pronouns in there. And the tricky one, the problem lies within she. Sasha hurried to call her sister before she flew to Brazil. Who's flying to Brazil? Sasha or the sister? So when you rewrite this one, make sure it's very, very clear and the sentence flows well. Okay? Number 3. Sasha hurried to call her sister before she flew to Brazil. Who is she? The sister or Sasha? Please make sure you fix that correctly. Now, number 4. You have second person you. Now, in English 111, you are absolutely, positively not allowed to use second person, any version of second person you in your writing. Okay? So in number 4, you need to take out second person you and correctly write the sentence. All right? So in your essays, in your summary, and even your forum posts, please avoid second person you when writing. Why? Well, it's kind of unprofessional and juvenile. So let's avoid that at all costs. When you take out you, your writing sounds more, again, scholarly and academic and more professional. So again, number 4, in Texas, you often hear about the influence of big oil corporations. take out the second person you and correctly, complete the sentence without it. All right? Okay, I think that's it. I hope you have a successful quiz. Take your time, read everything. If you have any questions, let me know, and I hope you guys have a great day.